The quote I always live by is, why wait for an opportunity when you can create one? And that's exactly what I did in high school. My name is Binh from BinhHustles, and I've been hustling. Make it make sense, make it make dollars. Let's hustle.
They don't really like it when I step in. They gon' try to top me, but I'm all in. Saying like me better when I'm ballin'. Drop top coupe in a foreign Lamborghini. I don't like her cause she fiendin'. Wifey saying she...
So this video is going to be about me just kind of talking about my experience in high school and creating this opportunity where I was able to sell certain items like pens and hoodies and stuff like that to my high school friends. And this is kind of what jump-started my entrepreneurship, or kind of my entrepreneur mindset, even though I didn't even know what that was back in the day. I just knew I wanted to be making money on my own terms, on my own time, with my own products. And I didn't know there was a term for it, which is entrepreneurship, and I didn't know people were making careers out of it. So I kind of just saw an opportunity and I took it, and over time people were like, dang, you're like an entrepreneur and all that stuff, and I was like, what the f is an entrepreneur? And then later on I started to understand what that meant. It just means someone that, you know, works their own company or does their own thing. And I was like, hey, that sounds like me, that fits me perfectly. I just wanted to talk about that experience here in this video. And essentially back in high school, probably around freshman year, we started getting iPads. So everyone in the entire school, freshman to senior year, we all started to get iPads, right? So I was like thinking, oh, this is cool, everybody gets iPads, like this is probably new for like the entire generations, because generations before they had school without any technology or anything. So when they started implementing these iPads and personal iPads, I thought it was a really cool idea for the school system and the educational system. And mind you, I'm not really a very school set guy. Like, I'm pretty intelligent, I would say, but I wouldn't be like the best at school, if you get what I mean. I'm pretty knowledgeable, I love to learn, I love to learn about topics that I want to learn about, and I get very deep into it, and I can actually retain knowledge and kind of give the knowledge to you guys. This is why I have this YouTube channel, is because I want to show you guys and teach you guys a few things maybe you guys don't know yet, or maybe something that you want to look more into and you guys haven't had an outlet to kind of learn that from. So I want to give you my experience. Like I said, back in freshman year, everyone got iPads. I got an iPad. It was like an iPad mini. The iPad minis came in a case, and they're like those like OtterBox cases, so they're like hard, thick OtterBox cases. It was pretty cool and all, but then the one downside that I didn't like about it is the iPad cases literally had a screen over the screen. It's literally in a box. Like, you take the case, I don't know if I have an example, you take the case and you slide it in, you close it in, so the iPad's in the middle here. So here's my phone, and this is the iPad case. It covers the screen. So there's another screen on top of the screen, so it's like a double layer screen, right? So every time you're using this iPad, this is where I came up with the problem here. The problem was, every time you use the iPad, you would touch the screen, but you would have to like forcefully touch the screen, and in order for sometimes it doesn't register, sometimes it does. And over time, like weeks went on, months went on, and I'm like, man, this is kind of cool and all, but like the screen is starting to get like, it's no longer like thick and like very solid. It's starting to make marks, like you could see where I was tapping, type of thing. Like, it was like you get a sheet of like plastic or whatever, and then over time, like, you heat it up, and then you can see, like, if you heat it up and you press it and you just let it dry, it stays there, like the indent stays there. And so that's exactly what happened, especially with the home button. When everyone's pressing the home button, that thing's just indented the entire time, and it just looks so bad. And then whenever you're taking notes, you're literally using your finger. So we had to switch from using a pencil every single day, writing on a piece of paper, to using your fingertip, writing every single day on your iPad, or even typing. And some people like to use writing. So people like to use their writing because they like to be creative, and they like to, what is the word? They like to express themselves, or they express the way they write things in handwriting. That's why we always had cursive. And so when you're using these iPads, they're so hard to use. You have to zoom in and zoom out, and, you know, erase this, erase that. And some of these programs or these softwares or apps didn't really work that well. And so I came up with an idea, and I was like, you know, I don't understand why we've been in school for this many years and then switch over to like a touch screen. It's like, it doesn't work, because we've been trained and just been brought up to use some sort of handheld device or handheld tool to write whatever we need to write. Because this is still in the era of like, oh, phones coming out, tablets, iPads coming out, you could buy a stylus and stuff like that. And I was like, why don't I get a stylus and use that stylus to write instead of typing? So I came up with this idea, and I was like, wait a minute, I could sell these styluses to other people. And what brought me to having the idea to sell it to people was like, I don't want to spend, I was looking on Amazon, like literally I was at school, I was like looking on Amazon, and I was looking for stylus pens. I was like, these stylus pens are cool. Some of them are not. Some of them are not even, they don't look like they're very practical. They look very just out of style because you still want to be a cool kid. So you're like, I don't want some bulky ass looking ugly stylus pen. So you want it to look, you know, very fancy or whatever you want to use that, right? I was scrolling through a lot of Amazons and I was like, dang, one stylus pen for 10, 12 bucks. I was like, dude, as a high schooler, freshman year, you're not driving, you don't have a way of income, you're barely getting any chore money from, you know, allowances from your parents. And for me, I didn't really get any allowances from my parents, so it was kind of like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this money, but hey, I want to buy this with the money that my mom and dad gave me sometimes, not allowances, but they just do sometimes, which I'm very grateful for, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't enough to get, you know, allow myself to be like, let's buy this $20 stylus pen. Like it just didn't make sense in my head. So I was like, why don't I just try to figure out a way to buy this, but then at least break even. And then I was looking and I saw this 12-pack stylus pens that had different colors, right? It was a medium-sized tip, so it wasn't the smallest. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it was a lot better than the other choices that I had. And they had 12 different colors. They had 12 in a box, and it was 12 bucks. So I was like, okay, let me use the money that I have. I'm gonna buy for 12 bucks. I'm gonna keep one that I like, and I'm gonna sell the rest. And I was thinking maybe I should sell it for like 2 bucks. I was like, would people buy this for 2 bucks? And then I looked on Amazon. I was like, oh, people would buy one stylus pen for 12 bucks. So I was like, yeah, we can sell one for 2 bucks. So then I buy this thing on Amazon. You know, I got Prime shipping, and during that time too, I was like looking into like reviewing products for Amazon. And so, you know, it didn't come to my head until now that I could have just reviewed it for free and then made 12 bucks or 24 bucks. But I was still fresh. I was still a fresh entrepreneur. Basically, I bought the 12-pack, went to school the next day. You know, we have tables. You know, during work time, I was like, hey, you wanna buy a pen? You wanna buy a pen? I got these stylus pens I have. So I pulled out the box of stylus pens. I was like, hey, I'm selling these for 2 bucks. You want to buy one? I got different colors. It's not only just a stylus pen, but it has a pen on the other side. So if you ever need to take notes or anything like that, you could use your paper and you could use your iPad if you really needed to. This pen is 2 bucks. I got a lot of sales and a lot of people were like, "Ooh, this is pretty cool. You have any other colors?" And one color I had, I think I had red. And a lot of people were like, "Do you have red?" I'm like, unfortunately, I have the red one, but if you want the red one, you let me know. Because then at that head, I was like, okay, I didn't figure this out later, but like I'm limited to the amount of stylus I could sell because of the color. But we'll get into that a little later. So I sell these pens to, you know, my friends and all that stuff, and like lunch tables, you know, people in my class and stuff like that. I was like, I wasn't even trying to like really sell, like push it out. I just wanted to be like, hey, I have these extra pens that I would just sell it to you guys if you really wanted to. I wouldn't give it for free because I was like, okay, well, let's get this straight. It's 2 bucks. Like, what's wrong with, you know, getting 2 bucks? I knew in the long term, like, I know this is not gonna make me a millionaire, or that's not gonna make me, you know, enough to really get into the real world. But like, hey, it's a practice. I was like, I have these extra pens. Let's go sell them. Sure enough, like I was able to sell probably like 80-90%, which is probably sold 8-9 stylus pens around like the people around me, just with the one box. Like $2 a piece, so we're looking about like $16. That is 100% return of investment if I sold all 12. But I did keep one, so we're at 11. Ooh, God bless me. But I did keep one, so it really cost me 13 bucks if I did the math right. So technically it cost me maybe $1. Basically, it actually cost me like $1.08 or something like that if you really did the calculations. But I'm not gonna into this. It's like dollars and cents. Just make it make sense. But I was able to sell a lot of these, and after I sold like 8 of them, I was like, okay, this is cool. Let's buy another set, because I had enough. I had like about like 16 bucks. I was like, let's just buy another one, because the problem was I was only limited to the amount of stylus I could sell is because number 1 of the people I knew, and 2 is because of the color. And sometimes people would already have a stylus, so I wasn't able to sell that, or people just didn't want to buy it, which is completely fine, which is completely cool. Obviously, there was a lot of selling potential that I could have really expanded on and really pushed out selling these styluses to every single one that had an iPad, because every kid, every student had an iPad, but I didn't have a stylus for every iPad. There was a problem with that, and plus the capital too, being able to have the right amount of colors. I was very limited to selling these stylus pens because I'd get the second box and I had 1 red, 1 blue, 1 purple, 1 blah blah blah. I had 1 of each color. So having 1 of each color, and everybody likes blue or red or purple or pink or whatever, you're dealing with 12 different styles of 1 stylus pen. Now if I did a really good job, I would only pick like 3 or 4 stylus pens, or maybe just pick 1 stylus pen and have a 12-pack and just sell it through that way. But I gave them an option. That's where I kind of got into a very big obstacle. But it made me think, think that there was a problem that I had to solve, which is being able to have multiple of one color so that I was able to sell if someone ever were to get the same color of the stylus pens. Because a lot of people were like, oh, when you have a red one, you let me know, I'll buy it. I just don't like these other colors. And I had like maybe pink or purple left. No one really bought it. So, or like some colors I don't remember exactly, but I knew there's some colors that just didn't sell. You know, that's how it goes when you're dealing with a lot of different styles or options that people are not willing to look at. It's kind of like a car. You know, you want to buy a car, everything is nice about the car, but you just don't like the color, so therefore you don't buy it. But it's the same car as the other car, it's just a different color. Kind of learned that the hard way, but hey, this is my selling experience. So with that, I was like, maybe I could really expand my selling kind of skill set with this. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can find a different product to sell to other people with this. So this is how I started Push, my current clothing brand, pushgreatness.com. Get 15% off when you use code BinhHustles. Or get 15% off when you use the code Hustle for Greatness for 15% off your entire order, whatever you want. Go check it out, pushgreatness.com. Shameless plug, but see what you like on there. Anyways, going back, I had actually started a different clothing brand before Push, and that's exactly why I started the clothing brand Push, is because clothing brand before Push was a clothing brand named Fade. And some of you guys who know the brand name Fade, and it kind of literally just faded away. And Push really just kept pushing on. So the story behind Push, I have a video that I'm be making pretty soon here about Push and how it started, kind of the ideals and morals and visions of that company that I really want to start with, going with it in the future, but that's for a different video. Right now, the Push Greatness, or Push Supply Co., Push Supply and Co., was the original name that I stuck with during high school when I was selling these hoodies. I was selling maybe one or two of these Fade shirts in my high school, but I didn't really like Fade shirts. I had a business partner that I was going into that business with, and we just didn't have, it was just conflicting business ideas and all that stuff. I just don't want to talk about it. Maybe in a different video I will, but for now, I respect him still on this level. I just keep my distance because there's no need for me to be close with him. You know, I just hope the best for everything that he does. Hope he's successful in whatever he does. It just so happens that we are not together anymore. We're not doing the same things, which is completely fine. I find out that business and life are very similar and very different at the same time, but business goes on, life goes on. Shit happens. You know, with the whole conflicting idea, I was like, maybe I should start my own clothing brand. It was doing well, the Fade clothing brand was doing well, but it wasn't doing as well as I envisioned where I wanted to go in the future. It was just, it didn't have that almost like a company feel. Like I could make like anything I wanted, but the logo and the brand name just didn't really fit to where I wanted to go. But with Push, I can have a logo, I can put it on shoes, I can put it on anything I want. It just has a way greater vision, way greater potential to really expand into a bigger company and scale to a point where I would love for it to be at. And I continuously still work at it even to this day. And I started this clothing brand back in 2016, and it's 2023 right now. Probably been more than what, 7? It's probably like 8 years by now. But hey, I'm still pushing. But you know, I've got some other ventures and other things that I have to figure out first and prioritize before I can really focus on Push. But there was a time in my life during high school where I was really focusing on just Push, and it really pushed me out of my comfort zone selling these hoodies. And here's the juice of it. So I was able to sell these hoodies to friends and family, and it got to a point where it was pretty well known in the high school. It leaked into another high school because I was friends with these two people at a different high school, and they really liked the clothing brand, and they really liked how it was a low-cost hoodie. It was like $35 for a hoodie. Like, who wouldn't buy a $35 hoodie, right? Nowadays it's like what, $70, almost $100, and you know, that's how it goes. But these hoodies were pretty well priced. However, it didn't meet my expectations, where these hoodies are not hoodies I could sell for $100. That's what I wanted to go to in the future for that clothing brand. However, I kept with it, and I grew this audience, and I grew this kind of a brand name, and got my name out there. And I was actually able to sell bulk. Like, I had these two people, I would give them these hoodies. I gave them like maybe 10, 20 hoodies or something like that. And I would give them these hoodies, and I'd tell them, hey, go sell these. You keep a profit. I forgot how much, but I did give them a cut. I think maybe I was like, you know, I'm giving to you for 25 each. If you sell them for like 45 or even 60, if you can sell it, if you keep selling it for higher, you can keep the difference. You just give me the 25 or 35 bucks. I still make a profit. You'll make whatever profit you decide to make, and I can still make these hoodies and keep keep it going. But I was at a point technically hiring these two people to really wholesale, really push my brand out there. It was really interesting and really cool at that point, because it got to a point where I was racking in not a lot of money, but like enough money for me to reinvest into newer hoodies, better quality. I made a new design, and so I made a new design, put the new design under the hoodie. During that time too, I had a different YouTube channel, and I actually got a few sales from my YouTube channel, and I'd ship those out to, out of state, which is really crazy and fulfilling to me. I have different visions for different things, so when something doesn't really click, I can't keep going with it. I want to keep going with it, but there's a few steps I have to take before I can really launch to where I want it to go. And to me, that's, I guess, I don't know, that maybe that's the vision, how my vision works. It's like you can't, how do I explain this? Like you can't start a YouTube channel without a camera, so you need to get the camera first. That type of deal. Like it's steps that you need to take. Or like, I can't sell you something that I'm not confident in selling. Like, it's not high quality, it's really shitty. I can't sell you that. There's no way I'm gonna sell you that, because that's my brand identity, that's who I am, and that's who I am as a person. It's like, I can't sell you a shitty hoodie. Maybe I can for like $10, but like not for $100. So, but I was able to wholesale them to these two high schoolers, and I'm very grateful that they were able to help me. And I obviously want to keep going with this clothing brands so that I am able to provide jobs and job security for people that are very interested into looking into that, and hopefully train some people in and hire some people in to help scale this company into a bigger brand name than what it is now. Obviously, this one's just going to be more athletic wear, more athletic and street wear, but there is another venture that I'm working on, which is going to be more designer based. That one's going to be a little bit later down the road. Obviously, that's not going to be there yet until I figure out certain steps first before I can get to that point. So far, it's been so good. Did I even say that right? It's kind of interesting because throughout these times, I do talk to a lot of people that want to start their own clothing brand. That's just another thing for another video. But I want to keep this video short because it is getting very fucking long, and I got some other videos to really make for you guys because I'm very interested. I really want to talk to you guys and tell you guys about my story, about like my clothing brand and stuff like that. But yes, I did have wholesalers I was giving it to, and they were selling it to in a different high school. And then I had another buddy in the same high school as me, and till this day we talk like probably every 3, 4, 5, 6 months. It's kind of like not that much. He was actually buying in bulk too, and then selling to people that I didn't know in the same school, which is kind of funny. I was a young kid, young, dumb, and stupid, young, dumb, and broke, or whatever you want to call it, but like I was getting all the money, and I didn't know how to manage the money. It was a good thing for me, because then it started to make me learn about how to manage money and how to really get into the logistics and analytics of, managing this type of money that does come in. And so now what I have is I have many different bank accounts, one for personal, one for expenses, one for business, others that I may not explain. That's what I learned back then, is even though I'm making, let's say hoodies cost me $20, right? And I'm selling them for $40. And what I would think every time I make a sale, at that time I didn't have a job. So when I made a sale, I was like, for my $20 made me $40. So boom, I'm gonna go use this $40 and I'm gonna go spend it on whatever, right? But that's not how it works. How it should work is you have that $40. Let's say you have $20 in your personal account. You put that personal $20 and you go invest it. And whenever you make a sale, it goes into your business account. Therefore, the business account, you never touch it, you just let it grow. When you let it grow, you can reinvest it into buying more hoodies. Essentially, that's what I kind of did, but my finances at that time were like mixed in together, so I only had like one bank account. It was literally a checking and the savings, which I was trying to make my savings into my business account and then my checkings into my just personal, and it didn't really work because I could just transfer them in and out, and I'd be like, oh, I got more money, I could use it. It doesn't work like that. I need separate bank accounts, separate cards, and separate transactions. And then later down the road, obviously when you start to get to like LLCs and taxes and stuff like that, you do actually need to have it separate. And where I'm at now, you learn a lot of things and you just keep going with it. But there's a lot of things that I learned about the clothing brand. I want us to talk about the story of it in a different video, but for this video specifically, this is just about the high school. So how did you go from selling pens with no job to buying like bulk of hoodies? This actually was a span of high school. So when I started driving, I actually was able to get a job, and it was at a dealership, so every week I was getting paid, and it was part-time. And then during the summertime, I'd work a lot more hours, and I'd use my entire paycheck because I didn't have any expenses at the time. Use my entire paycheck, go buy these hoodies, get it shipped here, sell it, and then keep rolling with it. I was like, I don't like this job. Maybe I had a job for like 3, 4, 5 months or something like that. Just quit my job, and then the money that I was making from my business or the clothing brand, I would use it as expenses for everything. And that's how it happens. That's how you learn. Obviously, I would love to go back and do it differently, but it's what made me learn about these things. And this is a long ass video. How long is this video? 25 minutes. That's not too bad for a story. There's just a lot of drama within the high school. So not within the high school, but just when your friend group and stuff like that. So drama does come up and obstacles come up, and it's a little bit harder for you to do the things that you want to do because of all this drama that's coming up. I just realized I'm supposed to have my clothing ran up. You live, you learn. Yeah, if you guys are very interested in learning more about it, definitely, you know, click the like button, subscribe to see more videos like this, comment what you think. I could talk for hours about business stuff. That's why I have this YouTube channel. So I want to make sure that you guys are getting knowledge and advices and tips, and like, oh, how did he do it? Like, what did you do? Like, what are you succeeding in that I'm not doing, where I'm not succeeding because I'm not doing what you're doing and you're succeeding, you know, type stuff. But yeah, definitely like separate your bank accounts, separate your money and your income, and build that stream of income, and you start to understand how business kind of works. You know, wholesaling in high school, for me, it brought me to a place where I could be my own boss, work on my own time, and it taught me that I can really hire people and be my own boss. Like, it really taught me that. Like, it was like I could buy these hoodies and I go find people that can sell me these hoodies, and if they can sell these hoodies, they can keep a cut, they have a commission, I could keep the profit, whatever they don't take the commission on, and whatever, however it works, and I could keep going with this. But you know, over time you start to live life and you start to run into obstacles with mentally, emotionally, all that stuff, physically, spiritually sometimes too. You get to a point where you start to understand a lot of those things, and I'm glad that I went through those things, because I keep saying it, but it does teach you a lot. If you ever want to start a business and you ever want to start anything in life, your hobby, YouTube, you know, freelancing, or even just starting a business from the ground up, I tell a lot of people you have so big dreams, you haven't even started the process of brainstorming, the process of going from idea to an existing physical product. Some people don't even get to the brainstorming idea. They have the idea in their head. Over time, that just disappears. They don't write it down. They don't have a plan. They don't go more for it. For me, I was literally sitting down and I was writing all of these brainstorming ideas, what kind of names I could go for. Push stuck out with me the most because it was a name that could be really scaled up to something like, okay, no hate, Nike. You think of Nike, you're like, okay, of course you don't just do it. Adidas, I don't even know the slogan for Adidas, but I know there's like a 3-stripe Adidas, but like, are those really English names? Now when you look at champion, when you wear champion, you feel like a champion. And that's English. Supreme was a very big one, and those names really stuck out to me, and I was like, what if I made one for Push? Literally just Push. In the beginning it was Push Supply & Co, and then I switched it to pushgreatness.com. I just wanted to be Push, but obviously there's more things and stuff that I have to learn about copywriting and all that stuff like that, so things like that you want to look into. But like I said before, like, this video is supposed to be about high school, but if you're in this deep, you know, welcome to the business talk. I guess it's kind of the end credits or whatever, but like, I just know a lot of people that want to start a business, they want to start something, but they don't start it. They don't even get to the planning phase, the idea phase. They don't even get to a point where they don't get to a physical product. Like, everybody always talks about, hey, I like your clothing brand, I want to do a clothing brand too. I'm like, cool. Do you know what kind of clothing brand you want to do? Like, is it athletic, sports, streetwear, designer? Do you even have a name for it? Do you have a logo? No. Well, like, I get the idea that you want to talk to people that have already started it. Majority of the time, I always tell people, man, it's very simple. It's so simple. It's so simple to start, but the difficult part is you. The only thing that's stopping you is you. People are like, oh, what about capital? What about design logo and all that stuff? You literally go on Google and you can go on Fiverr. Okay? You go on Fiverr, you spend 10, 15, 20 bucks, even $5. That's why they call it a Fiverr. You spend $5, this guy makes you a logo. You spend $5, this guy gives you design. You spend $5, this guy gives you a photo or a mock-up or whatever you want. And that's what it takes to be a CEO or a boss, is you usually start hiring people to do work that you don't know how to do. And you have this vision and idea in your head and you want to make it happen, but you yourself don't have the right skills. So you find people that have those skills and you either hire them or you motivate them or inspire them to see the same vision and dream and goal as you and ambition, and then you get them to work towards that because that is what you envision. The thing about it is, this is different topic. But the thing about that is you have to make sure you're inspiring and motivating whoever you're working with that's working for your dream, because this is your dream, not theirs. If they see the same dream and they understand your dream and they're really applying the dream that you're going for, they will start to be motivated and inspired by what you do, and they will admire you. And you guys are probably thinking, like, what about you? I had people wholesaling for me. I had people come up to me and talk to me about, like, how do you start a clothing brand? Where do you go print your stuff? Blah, 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 blah. I give them information for free. I literally tell them from the details, from where to source it, where I sourced it, how much it was. Sometimes I keep that, low key. I don't really tell people, but like only like certain close people that are actually very interested, that I see very big potential in them. So I'll just give them free game. I call it free game, free knowledge. And that goes a long way, because that free value, they will start to see that. And some people will use that against you, but at the same time, I always say, don't focus on your competitors. You don't have any competition. Just see what other people are doing, but don't think of them as your competition, is what I'm saying. Oh, why would I buy your brand over their brand? I was like, literally, that was me. I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go, you buy my brand because you believe in my brand. You believe in what the dream and vision and the goals that your brand is going for versus that brand. That brand is going for something else. Like, why would I buy yours over Nike? I'm like, what the fuck? You calling me? Of course you would buy Nike over my brand, right? Of course, because Nike is huge. Everybody knows Nike. But then why are people buying stuff, other people's brands, when they could just go buy Nike? Some people buy both. There's people, you always get people that will be like, they'll try to fight you. They're like, why would I buy your brand over your brand, that brand? Or not? I'm selling you this hoodie because this is my brand, and you know me. And you may not know me, but I'm gonna tell you the brand's vision, brand name. But do not compare me to the other brand names, because that is completely separate. That's why we have different choices of pizza. Why would I eat pepperoni pizza over cheese pizza? Because I don't like pepperoni, or I like cheese more. Okay, but they're both pizzas, right? They're both clothing brands. It's just, do you like this one? Like, it's not about, like, sometimes I ramble too much and sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know what I'm talking about. It's just, it's hard to me to say it in words and somehow put it in words where you guys can understand. Look, man, this is my brand, this is my vision. I want to push you. Whenever you wear it, it motivates you and inspires you. Every time you wear it, I want you to be reminded that, hey, whatever you do, I want you to push so far up that I want you to push for your dreams, your goals, and ambitions. And I just want to have you push it. I want you to wear it, and I want you to be motivated and inspired for the days that you are not. And remember that that's how I started. That's how I started push. But yeah, that's kind of my selling point, sometimes here and there. But like I said, there would be a separate video where I'll talk more about push, and now this is more of this business talk, but it's not really about the high school and things. But hey, you clicked this video. I hope you liked my personality. I hope you liked me for who I am. Like I said, I'll be posting more videos about like how to start this, what do you use, what are some other ways to use, here's what I use, here's some other people that what other people use, here's what I used to use, and stuff like that. So we'll keep going with that. But it's already a 35-minute recording, and I can just keep going. Pretty soon here, if you guys are watching by the end of this video, I will be having a podcast of me talking to other people that are on the come up, where they're starting to actually get traction into the business and then starting getting income from it. But it's not like $50,000 a month type stuff, but basically talking to other people that I know that I've seen from zero to whatever they're doing now, which is amazing. So I'll have podcasts of me interviewing them and how they started, and what are some adversities and obstacles that they're going through, and how do they get over it and then still keep going on with whatever they're doing and still being semi-successful. But they know if they keep going, they'll be at the point where they are. I mean, to me, if you got your first sale, if you got your first traction, and you feel good about it, that's already success. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to see more videos. Click the like button below if you guys enjoy this story, business talk. I will definitely be doing more videos. I have a lot of different business entrepreneur stories and stuff like that, like Amazon shoes, Amazon FBA, on Facebook Marketplace, you name it, print on demand, dogs, restaurants. But I would love to keep talking more. So my name is Ben from BinhHustles, and I've been hustling. Make it make sense, make it make dollars. I'll see you guys in the next hustle. Peace.
They don't really like it when I step in. They gon' try to top me, but I'm all in. Saying like me better when I'm ballin'. Drop top coupe in a foreign Lamborghini. I don't like her cause she fiendin'. Wifey saying she agreeing. Dropped her off for my girls well being. We both got deeper meaning what we believe in. They don't really like it when I step in.